So there's been a ton of spoilers already for OP12, so just be aware that if you're not ready to have OP12 spoiled, you probably shouldn't watch this video. Today, we're just going to look through every single card. For every person who has just missed all of the reveals, this is the video for you. We're going through the One Piece card game Discord, and we're just going to read every card, rank it, talk about it, see if there's any justice in the card, if it will actually do something for the meta, or if they're just printing cardboard to use in the sealed format and to sell some product. Honestly, that's usually what happens. Let's see if anything can actually beat this blue-purple Luffy hype and see if we can outmatch that tempo, because that deck's kind of crazy right now. So let's look into OP12 into the future, not back to the future, into the future, and let's rank some cardboard. All right. So again, this is for players who have not seen spoilers. So if you've already seen spoilers, this may not be for you. But if you have and you want to just talk about it, that's cool too. Leave all your comments and thoughts in the Discord or in the comments. In the comments, subscribe, all that jazz. And let's talk about this guy. I was so hyped for this. I'm so hyped. Let's go. It's Rayleigh. That's got to be such a cool leader. Let's talk about it. Let's look at this artwork, bro. Let's look at this artwork. Look at that, dude. He's got freaking bubbles. It looks like bubbles on the freaking artwork, and he looks cool and old, and he's got his sword out. And what if he had some hockey? That would have been cool to throw some hockey in there. And he got Conqueror's hockey. How cool is this? This has to be a good card, am I right? This has to be good. Well, let's just start it off with the idea. Per the rules, you cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater in your deck. You cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater. I don't care. Maybe it's 5. It must be 5 greater than 5. You can't have cards greater than 5. Put it either way. Say it was a mistranslation. Bro, what is that? You're telling me I can't run Rayleigh and Rayleigh? Neither of the Rayleighs can be run with the Rayleigh. That is horrible. That is awful. We just have a worse Zoro, a bad Zoro package going in this deck right now. There's no support that can make this deck good, unless there's a good secondary effect, right? Let's look at this. Activate main. Once per turn, you may reveal 2 events from your hand, so you give your opponent the awareness of 2 events that are in your hand that they have to play around. Give up to one of your characters with the base power of 4,000 or less, plus 2,000 power for this turn. What? I can see some synergies here. So we're going to talk about things that we could cook up with this leader, what we expect to come out into print. So obviously some events, like that wouldn't surprise anybody. He's got Conqueror's hockey. We could do something with that. When he pulls up on that one dude with his Conquerors, and I'm not going to give spoilers because you might not have seen it in the anime, but if you haven't, it's kind of important that you see that at some point. So definitely watch the anime. Anyways, it does say base power, so say our character's the Sanji, the 3-cost Sanji that gets plus 3,000 power. Technically, you could make that into an 8,000 power character, which is really neat. That is cool, the little tech option there. Tizzy, buddy. Let's take a cat break. All right, we're getting fired up about Rayleigh. We're going to take a cat break for a second. We're back. So there's options there, but without it knowing any of the support, this thing is just god-awful. They did this man so freaking dirty, it actually makes me cry. He is one of the coolest characters in the actual anime, like a badass old man who can just do whatever he wants and lives on his own terms, and he was part of Roger's crew. And you make him have this power, this effect, it hurts. It genuinely hurts. So that's enough of Rayleigh. Let's move on to the next character, and let's throw this cat onto the ground. Not throw him aggressively, but kindly. Drop him on the ground before he attacks me. Look, he's the abusive one. He's the abusive one here. All right, next card. This is a Heart Pirates Trafalgar Law, which you'll see what this goes with in just a moment. 4 costs, 6,000 power, Heart Pirates, blocker, on play. If the number of Dawn cards you have in play is equal or less than your opponent's Dawn card, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested. So it's a 4/6, which is good stat line. Obviously no counter on any 4/6s in the game on average. So that's pretty interesting. It's also a blocker. A 4/6 blocker is always actually pretty strong. I don't know how many of those we have seen, but that is a really good card to have right there. So definitely something we can keep in mind in the future. There's definitely some purpose to it, and you'll see that in just a minute. I don't know why we have the eggplant emojis. I don't understand that one. I'm going to be honest. I'm not liking that. I'm not liking that. Then we get into another leader, and it's Kuzan, right? Kuzan is someone I've been begging to see a leader for, so I'm actually really hyped for this one. When your Navy type cards abilities make you trash cards from your hand, draw that same number of cards that you discarded. So basically if it says discard 2 cards, bounce a 4 cost, now you bounce a 4 cost and then draw 2 new cards and filter your hand perfectly, which is really convenient for your leader effect. So I actually really like this leader. I think it really depends on the support to know if this leader is going to be good. And we are going to be breaking down every single leader announced, because obviously they've all been announced by now. There are 6 of them per usual. So this is going to be a really interesting one. Now, if we go into a more of an art critique style, if we really look into this leader, is there a way to zoom in? There is. This is just all right, honestly, for a base leader, which you don't expect much, but you don't expect much, but you definitely expect a little more than this dark shadow on it, which it looks cool, and it gives some ideas on some stuff that happens with Kuzan, and it does look cool. It's nice. But I'm not going to say it's my favorite just base leader from the set, so it's pretty good. Not my favorite, but it's cool. Back to the effect though, I definitely think there's going to be some strong interactions here with Navy and Blue. This is probably the whole reason Sakazuki did not get unbanned, because they're about to get some crazy Blue support. Granted, it's going to make you discard cards, so maybe it wouldn't have been as good in Sakazuki, which would need something to have that same draw effect, which wouldn't be the same. I definitely think it's going to have some characters that bottom deck based off discarding a couple cards and stuff like that, like some bigger boss monsters. It's hard to say because I don't think it's going to have the ton of draw power. I think it's going to be based off of filter and either bottom decking or bouncing, similar to a Boa style deck, but I think it's going to force you to discard certain cards. So it's going to really keep you into that Navy structured build where it's going to say discard 2 Navy type cards from your hand, bottom deck a 3 cost, and there's going to be some really mid effects, especially in this first set. I don't think Kuzan's going to be that good off release. I think Kuzan will have more support in OP13 and a few smaller cards like we usually see, and I think that will make this deck a lot better. So don't expect too much from Kuzan off the rip, but definitely expect to see some cool stuff with Kuzan in the future, and definitely expect to see us messing with this deck as soon as we can. Now we get into this 1 cost. Let's see what this is. Rosinante right here, obviously, as you can see in the character right there, that is Rosinante. In case you don't know, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 Trafalgar Law and put it in your hand, then bottom deck the rest in any order. So I wonder what that's about. We're seeing these Trafalgar Laws. Let's actually look into the art. This is the alt art itself. This is not even the base rarity. I guess we see the alt art first. It's actually a cool alt art. It goes kind of hard. It's usual Rosinante stuff though. It's nothing special. He's cool. He's aight. But altogether, I honestly just don't want to say too much until you really see what this is supporting. So I'm holding my tongue a little bit on the Rosinante stuff. Obviously, it's just a searcher at the end of the day. It grabs a Trafalgar Law. Trafalgar Law is my favorite character in the whole anime, but I don't think that's that good. Grabbing one specific name from your deck, that's a sign of something, and we're going to give that a mouse. So whatever this is, we're going to match that energy and agree with it. Here we go. Poker, 3 cost, 4K, Animal Pirates type. Activate main once per turn. You may place 3 cards from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. Give up to 2 characters of the Smile type plus 2,000 for the turn. That's actually really interesting for black, but I guess that could work. I just don't think it works really in Purple Black Kaida or Purple Black King. What other black Animal Pirates type character is there? I really don't know if there is one other than King. I think that's the only black one at this moment. So maybe this is something just to show us what's going to be out in OP13 or in the future, because I don't really see this as King support. So this may just be a little jab to say, hey, we're getting you a new Animal Kingdom Pirates type black leader in a future set, which is usually what they do. So that's all I expect Poker to say, because it's not a good card. It doesn't support it actually. It just shows, hey, there's something else coming out soon. So I think that's one to keep in mind. I think it could be a leader that says every time you put X amount of cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, maybe draw a card or maybe give something extra power, and it does something with smiles and whatever. So it could be a Orochi or whatever his name is, a black Orochi deck that deals with the smile and the Animal Kingdom type. Kind of a cool idea right there. Altogether though, I don't care about it. This is a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 card right there. Red Shanks, 2 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter. On play, give up to one of your Roger Pirates type character other than Shanks Rush for this turn. What do we even talk about here? What are we even supposed to say? I don't really think this matters. I don't think this does much for the card game. We'll just ignore that completely not worth our time. Then we have another Rosinante. It's a blue Rosinante Navy type. During your opponent's turn, if one of your blue Navy type characters be removed from the board, you may instead rest this card and discard 1 card from your hand. A really cool effect because this is Navy, which goes with our Kuzan we were just looking at. So I actually really like this one. Having a 1-cost character protect your Navy type characters, this is going to be a very strong, pivotal card in the deck. I think this is going to be really important. Just being able to save your characters, I like this a lot. It does rest itself. It's easy to remove, but it forces your opponent to put removal here before putting removal into your other bodies. So they have to remove a 1 cost, which for some decks, if it's not black, is really difficult. Obviously, Brook can get rid of this really easily, but if you're going against a blue deck per se, say we were in a mirror match and you're trying to bounce my character, well, you have to get rid of this one first, so you can't just red rock this guy, and then you need to have 4 to remove this, and then 6 into red rock. You have to be on a 10-Don turn to really do something. Or you need to run like a Hound Blaze, a 2-cost event that bottom deck said, be on 6-Don, and then you can red rock whatever big blue character I have on the board. So I like this a lot. This is a very, very strong card for Blue Navy. Then we look into the new leader. Let's look into the actual artwork of this leader because this thing looks so cool. All in all, I think this actual style, this look, I think this looks nice. I mean, just having him have the 3-sword style is chef's kiss. I really like this leader, the style and everything, like I've been saying, and it was announced in a magazine, which makes it a little cooler in my eyes, because I would love to own this magazine. Literally, if I could just own these magazines, put them on this shelf back here. You can't see it right now, but it's got 2 blue bottoms sitting up there, and I've got 3 in the closet. Hold your blue bottoms if you get them. That's a whole different conversation. If you want to talk about actual investing in One Piece and what to hold on to and stuff like that, leave a comment below saying you want to hear about that. Back into this leader though, let's get into the actual effect of this leader. Times 3 Dawn, so you have to attach 3 Dawn to your character, or to your leader, activate main once per turn. If this leader has battled a character during this turn, set this leader as active, then for the rest of this turn, this leader cannot attack characters with an original cost of 7 or less, meaning you can still swing life, because your opponent's leader does not have a cost, which is really cool. So basically you're here just to clear board, so if you have your opponent has any 6k bodies and you swing 8 into it, they have to give you a 2k, 1k, and then you can swing a 7 cost or higher body and just attach more Dawn or do whatever you need to, and then, or you can just swing into their life if you really want to, so you can go, and it helps you with the perfect thing about this is it helps with your order of operations, how you should be swinging. Usually you want to, it depends on the situation, the pressure on your opponent, right? If they're at 1 life, of course you can swing at their life first because they have to counter, so it forces cards out of hand, then you can remove the bodies. But in most situations, especially earlier in the game, it is stronger to swing the board first, of course, and then swing life, so it burns their resources so they can't counter out of the other swing. So what you can do is swing a 6 into their body, swing this 8 into the body first, because that's the best way to do it to guarantee you get that second swing out of it. And then you get to re-swing your leader basic in a few seconds after you can swing your other items, you know, your other characters on the board into that character if you really want to force removal on it. Or because you emptied out their hand size, you can really pressure their life with like a 6k swing from your board and then the 8k swing on top with leader. So it almost forces more pressure onto your opponent depending on the strategy and the actual pressure. Again, I keep saying pressure, but that's really important, I think, with this deck, is if you are applying proper pressure, it forces your opponent into situations that you are controlling the board state and you are controlling the tempo of the game, especially if this gets good support. So we're going to have to see if this gets good support. This card looks really cool, though, and I think this alt leader is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to see it. Speaking of support, this is going to be one of our support type things here with this leader. If one of your, it's a 2-cost 1k power, or 1k counter. If one of your cost 5 or lower slash type characters other than this would be KO'd by your opponent's effect, you may instead rest this character. Also, it's a blocker, so it's like a Rosinante for slash, but better in a way, because it rests itself, and so your opponent still has to remove this body, it still has to swing into it, and usually in a slash attribute, you're playing lower costed slash type characters. So this can definitely help like blue-green Sanji Zoro. This can, because it's a 2-cost as well, so you can run it with that Ivankov, because that's literally what the Ivankov came out with, the blue-green Sanji Zoro. So this almost helps that in a way more, because you also got the Mihawk, which has slash. So I'm going to try to put all these cards on screen as I talk about them, but there's a lot to mention, so this is going to be a very detailed video for you guys. I hope it looks good. Anyways, I think this will help a lot of decks. I think it'll help Arlong, because you can put Arlong into slash, because so many of those cards are slash type attributes. There's so much they can do with these attributes that they haven't done much with yet, and I'm excited to see what they do. So this is going to be some cool support. I think it's going to be great for Zoro. I think it's a blocker. It's a 2-cost chump blocker with counter, and it helps with board removal. So I like this. This is good. This is a 9 out of 10 if you're playing a slash type character. Now in a vacuum, this is a 7, 6, probably 6 or 7. I would probably say this is a 6. It's a blocker, it's cool, it's a chump blocker, it's average. It's a little above average just in case it hits the slash type, but I think if you're not playing a slash deck, this isn't that great. Here's some more support though. This is going to be very important. This is a very good support card actually for our Zoro deck list. Kuina, it's a 4-cost 1k with 1k counter. Shimatsuki Village and East Blue typing. Activate main, you may rest this character. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 4 or less. That's pretty good because now you can swing it if you know your opponent just went to 3 and then you're going into 4, right? So now you can swing it with your leader, but we don't have any rested Dawn. So well, let's just continue to read and see if we can fix that. Then attach up to 3 rested Dawn to one of your Roronoa Zoro leaders. And it's an activate main on play, so we can reuse this if this is not banged down. Wait. Let's talk about this. That's crazy. I think they were trying to talk about stairs and they mentioned ladders, but I see what they're doing here and that's messed up. I'm pretty sure they were trying to talk about stairs here and not ladders, but this is messed up. Anyways, this is a very strong card, especially on curve, because if we're going into 5 Dawn, even if we're going into 5, right, we still have 1 extra Dawn if we need it. We can play counter events or whatever we need to, but the biggest thing is just playing out Kuina, resting their 4 cost on an activate main, so their Burgess or whatever they're playing out, whoever we're going against, Lucky Roo, whatever. Yeah, we'll lose Kuina, but it's a 1,000 power character, and we get to swing that board and their life. Kind of cracked. Like, this card is so good for the Zoro deck. This is exactly what the Zoro deck needed. If they continue to put more support like this out, it's going to be very good. Speaking of the Zoro deck, it is a Straw Hat Supernova. That is going to work with our Cavendish, the 5-cost Cavendish that restands 2 Dawn. That is going to go crazy because that is also a slash attribute, which works off of this effect. So if we play this on 2, we play that on 5, we play this on, we play the curve so good. So we play this on 2, right? We play this on 4, right? We play Cavendish on 5, right? Now we have 3, and now we have something to do for 3. Oh, put 3 Dawn on our leader and swing. Oh, tell me that's not crazy. Tell me that's not crazy. Okay, let's continue. Now we're gonna look into this. It's just a 6/7 2k counter. Don't really care about it, but it is a smile type character. It's also Beast Pirates. It's we don't really care about it. Here's gonna be purple Zeff. Why are we getting Zeff support for East Blue? That's purple? That's so weird. What's up with these cards? When Dawn is returned from your Dawn deck and your leader is Sanji, this card gains Rush. Well, that's interesting, right? It's almost like they're telling us there's gonna be a Sanji leader that's purple, and that's kind of wild, right? So I like this and I don't like this because you have to do it in the right order where you have to play this down. I don't think this is gonna actually be played. To start off, I don't think this is gonna be played very often. It's a niche pick maybe. It reminds me of just Blue Rush Usopp. You can play it in other decks. It works when you look into the leader effect. Don't get me wrong. It works with what you're trying to do, but also it's not the greatest. So for me, it's alright. It's cool though that it does get rush on curve, so maybe I'm understating the actual value because this will get rush on curve using your leader effect once we look into what the leader effect is, if I remember it correctly. So let's hold off on ranking this until we get to the actual leader. Here's our Perona. This is an amazing card, but it is not searchable, right? So this is not searchable unless you're searching for slash. Oh wait, if your leader has a slash attribute, look at the top 5 cards, reveal 1 slash attribute type card or a green event and put it into your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. I stand corrected. This searches out slash, which obviously this is not slash, this is Buggy Kingdom and through Bark Pirates, which doesn't really work here, but we could technically do the slash Perona deck and call it a day, see what we can do with a green-black slash, especially with how much Navy support's in there. I'm sure there's some cool slash stuff in there that I might not be thinking about right now. But that's not the point of this. This is literally going in green Zoro. This is going to be a 4 of in the whole thing. It's a 4 of SR. Really good card, cute looking card. Like, I can understand the collectability of it as well. So definitely one I would be looking into picking up. I don't think it's going to be super expensive, especially right now. But as you know, more and more collectors play the One Piece card game, expect it to be a couple bucks. You know, it's on release is probably going to be 75 cents if green Zoro is not that great. If that's true, I would probably be buying this thing up and just holding on to it for a while. But this is going to be really cool. I love that it searches slash attribute and green events. That's something really unheard of in the card game, and I think it's going to be very effective for this leader and definitely something you need to play if you want to play Zoro. Now we're looking at Captain Morgan. It's just a 3-5. We ignore that. We don't care about that. We'll give it the poop emoji. We don't care. It's just a 3-5. Who cares? But a 0 cost red event. That's former Roger Pirates. I wonder who that's supporting. Maybe Silver's Rayleigh. Observation Hockey is the name of the card. You may attach 1 active Dawn to your Silver's Rayleigh. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 red event or a cost 3 or 1 cost 3 or greater card. Then put it into your hand and place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So we can grab a 3 or 4 cost or an event. So it's a 0 cost, which really just helps you filter through your deck, which makes me actually really like this. I like it. But it does force you to attach the active Dawn, and it does specifically say active here, so I'm assuming that translation is correct. It's a 0 cost that adds an active Dawn to your character or to your leader. So it's basically a 1 cost, and then you get the rest of Dawn in a way. So it's not really a 0 cost, and it's very specific. You may attach 1, so it doesn't say you have to attach 1, which isn't, oh no, you have to attach it though to get the secondary effect. So you have to attach an active Dawn to your Silver's Rayleigh. It does not say leader, so I guess you could play this in Shanks if you wanted to try it, but I wouldn't recommend it. And yeah, anyways, we're giving this a clown emoji. I don't like this one. It's okay. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not great. It's Silver's Rayleigh support, and that deck was destroyed since it started. This is important right here. We're not going to talk about it too much. It's a 2k counter that it literally just says, if your leader is Revolutionary Army type, this character gains +4 cost. Giant and Revolutionary Army type. So it's an 8 cost character on play. That's really weird. I don't know why they would do that. So goofy. We're going to give it a... We're going Kuzan. We're going Kuzan emoji. We're giving it a Kuzan emoji, but that's going to be the vibe right now until we see maybe if this supports something that we're not mentioning just yet. Oh, we finally find this leader. Now, listen to me, okay? Listen up. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in the One Piece card game, and it almost like, if I was a woman, listen, my viewership is 99.5% male, so we can say this on this channel. If I was a woman, this would give me the ick, right? Like, you guys don't have girlfriends, you don't have relationships, you've heard how you give a woman the ick. You've probably heard it a lot. You're like, oh, look at these One Piece cards I have. And then she stops texting you, right? This is very similar to that same feeling. Once per turn, if your Trafalgar Law were to be KO'd, you may add the top card of your life pile to your hand instead. Activate main once per turn, Dawn -1. During this turn, the next Trafalgar Law you play from your hand with a cost of 4 or more will have its cost reduced by 2, right? Tell me how any of that makes sense. Like, tell me one single effect there makes any sense. I'm waiting. So even on a 7 Dawn turn, like, you have to think about this. Our biggest target here is the new 7 cost Trafalgar Law secret. It's a 7/9 that adds a supernova to the top of your life and a rested Dawn to your leader if your leader has the supernova type. That's not this. That doesn't work with this. You don't get the rested Dawn. You're not running a supernova deck except for Trafalgar Law. You can attach another Trafalgar Law to the top of your life and gain a life. Cool. But if you think about it, you have to go Dawn -1, right? So you need to be proactively using your Dawn before you minus the Dawn, and we're not even playing ways to ramp up Dawn except for the 4/6 Trafalgar Law we did see earlier, which is Heart Pirates, not Supernova, and would not go to the top of your life, right? So it's just working for me. So I need to be able to play out this 7 for 2 less, which means I have to have 5 Dawn to play it, but I have to Dawn -1, so I could minus an active Dawn or swing him for 6 with my leader, and then minus that Dawn to play out my 7 cost Law for 6, which is unique, but then it feels like a waste of that Dawn. And then next turn, I'm going into 7, and I'm not ramping up using that 7 cost. I'm gaining a little tempo on the board, but any other purple deck I'm going against, I'm just falling behind. So for me, this is getting another Kuzan. I'm not vibing with it. This is the ick right here, but it shows you why some of those laws have been printed, and you'll see probably some more in just a minute. 6/8. Ooh, I haven't seen this one personally. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have not seen this one personally. If your hand size is 5 or greater, this character has +1 cost. Okay, first off, interesting we're working with cost here, and I like it because that's going to be blue-black support. It's going to be blue support alone, just knowing that now if you have 5 or more cards in hand, that this cannot be hit with Gravity Blade. I really like this. It is a 6/8 with no counter. Keep that in mind. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Up to one of your opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase. That's a lot of words to just say your opponent's character cannot attack this turn or next turn. I get what they're doing here, but just saying. I like that a lot, actually. So it's similar. It's just Boa, but better, honestly, because this does not have the stipulation that you can't hit a Luffy, and it gets +1 cost. So I really like this, and I think this is an underutilized thing in the One Piece card game, stopping your opponent's cards from attacking, because it's basically the same as bouncing and stuff in its own way, just without giving them the on play or when attacking effects, depending on if they replay it, they get the on plays. If they swing in, they get a win attacking. So I really like this card, and I think it can definitely shut down some decks, especially if you can keep them rolling, similar to what a Carrot can do. So I definitely like this. I personally wish it was a 6-7, because I don't know. No, I was going to say you could use it blue, green, Sanji, Zoro. I'm always looking out for that deck, but it just don't work there. It just wouldn't work. Here we go. Miss All Sunday, Baroque Works, purple character. This is going to be a very interesting one here, I'm sure. On playo, KO up to one of your opponent's characters that cost of 3 or less. Then your opponent may choose to add 1 Dawn from their Dawn deck and set it as active. So we're getting a purple-black Baroque Works type leader soon. That's the only thing I'm thinking. I would not want to play this and then give my opponent an active Dawn. I don't want to help my opponent get to the end game faster just to pop a 3-cost character. So if there is not something better to go with this, I'm not vibing with it. I do like the Dawn -1 play this character, and I can understand that you could use this in blue purple Croc or whatever, or you could use this in yellow purple Croc, but I just don't vibe with it. I don't like giving my opponent an active Dawn. I mean, unless there's something that says when your opponent sets a Dawn as active, like gain an active Dawn. If we had something like that, maybe, but personally, I'm not vibing with Miss All Sunday right now. Now, Nico Robin, on the other hand, she makes me lick my lips, man. She makes me excited, so that's a different conversation. All right, let's get on to this. This is finally your Sanji, blue-purple Sanji leader right here. This is what's going to work with the Zeff right here, this first effect. Activate main once per turn, Dawn -1. Activate up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type event card from your hand with an original cost of 3 or less. So, let's say we go play out Zeff on 4, right? We take the even curve. I guess we could go odd. No, we have to go even to use it in the same proactive way, I guess. So, we go Dawn we play out Zeff for 4, we go Dawn -1, we activate an event that ramps us up a Dawn, so we're back to 4, we have 1 active, because it's one of those events, that 3 costs that ramps a Dawn is active, whatever, right? And then our Zeff gets Rush, we get to swing in for 5 and 5, we can leave 1 active for some kind of counter event, or swing in 5 and 6, which is cool. And then when attacking, if the number of Dawn on your board is equal or less to your opponent, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested. So when we get to swing back in, if it's not a ramping event or opponent hasn't ramped or whatever, we can ramp up with our leader effect first or whatever. So it's really good. I like it. Like, I think it needs some support. I think there's just better blue-purple right now. If we look into that Luffy we've been talking about a little bit, saying that power creep the game up here, and then these leaders have been here, like down here at like my big nose, and then this goes to the top of my forehead, because this is where my forehead starts, right? So that it just doesn't really work for me because of that. But if we get rid of blue purple Luffy though, this might cook up something. I really think Kuzan's the best so far, but it could definitely cook something up. Then we get into Buggy, a red character, OP12 slash type. Keep that in mind, it's slash. Up to one of your characters with Roger Pirates included in this name, other than Buggy, gains a blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. Now, this isn't good. It's similar to that Shanks we saw earlier, right? We're gonna give this a clown real quick, hold up. Oh, we already gave it a clown. We're gonna give it a secondary clown right there. Okay, so I like this. I'm supposed to like this, because imagine just making Goldie Roger a 13k blocker, and your opponent can't do much, right? It's cool. It don't really work though. But it's cool, but it don't work. But I like it. It's interesting at the very least. Obviously, that's on play, so you couldn't really do that unless you just chose not to swing with your Goldie Roger, and you're not doing what this character is trying to do. So maybe it works because of the Rayleigh deck, and you can play it in there, but other than that, I'm just really not seeing it. Okay, let's get into this. I love you. Yes, you, viewer. I love you because you're subscribed, you like the content, you comment down below, and you're in the Discord, and that's why I love you. Counter up to one of your leaders or character gains plus 2,000 during this battle. Then, afterwards, if you have 2 or less life, add up to 1 Trafalgar Law from your trash to your hand. Yeah, that sucks. It's so cope for these people who are commenting the hearts, because it's like, I love you, but I hate you. It's like what Tyler the Creator said. And for me, I just don't vibe with it. Getting a 2k counter out of this and then only adding a card to your life or to your hand if you have 2 or less life, so your opponent's probably swinging more than 7, especially if you do have that Dawn active. It doesn't make sense. It can, I guess, but I don't really vibe with it. It's not my cup of tea, because then we're just adding a 7 cost to try to gain a life, or we're adding a 5 cost or something like that. And it just, from the laws we've seen so far, it just doesn't work. It just don't work in my opinion. But Patty right here, Patty the Baddie, Patty Pimblett right here. 3 cost, 2k power, slash type, East Blue type. Does it say what? Oh, purple character. Yep, not green character slash. On play, you may trash, well, obviously because it's for Sanji. You may trash an event from your hand. If your leader is Sanji, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So it's basically a bond clay for Sanji, which I do actually like, and it does get those events out of hand when you're, kind of stuck with them, and allows you to ramp. So I actually don't mind this. We'll give this our own reaction of, oh, can I use these? We're gonna give it a Luffy. That's going to be our reaction. It's going to be a Luffy reaction right here to Patty. I actually like this card. I think it's just similar to a Bon Clay, especially if we're going first. And then we get to ramp with swinging with our leader, and then ramp up with this. And then maybe we can do something with that. Or like maybe we go, play this out, ramp up 1, go Dawn -1, swing in with leader for 6, and then ramp 1 back. So then we're still at 4, but we get to activate the event on top, which may have some kind of power to do something. There has to be some good blue Sanji event or something going on here, but these are just ideas because, again, 3, you ramp up 1, you go Dawn -1 for leader effect, so now we're back to 3, so we would still be higher than our opponent. Yeah, I don't understand this. This just doesn't work to be like equal or less than for the win attacking effect of your leader. You'd still be above them by 1, and then you'd be on the same curve you were on, so I don't know. Actually, I don't like it as much as I thought. I've talked myself out of it. Purple character, if you trash has 4 or more event cards, this character gains blocker. So it's a 1 cost 1k blocker, because usually you'll have 4 or more event cards based off this leader effect. And if you don't, you can Gum Giant, which you can discard an event and then draw 2 cards and then have 2 events in your trash just from that, and then this gains blocker after. So keep that in mind. This is a constant check effect. So if you're looking into the rulings of the card game, this is constantly a blocker if you have 4 or more event cards. But if there is a way that your opponent can prevent that from happening and take the event cards out of your trash and put them back into your deck or your hand, you lose this effect. Same thing as if you were countering with them. So say you had 3 events in trash and then you counter, your next attack will now have 4 in the trash, and this will gain blocker if it's on the board during that specific setup. So it's similar to Burgess, that if you counter out with a certain amount of cards and you hit a certain amount, then it gains that plus 1000, and it counts as the extra counter and stays as a constant plus 1000. Same with the Burgess that has Rush, it's a constant check for Rush. Same thing with the Zoro, the 3 cost Zoro that has Rush. Kozuki Hiyori, 1 cost 0 power, I like that, plus 1000 counter. Activate main, 1 Dawn, you may rest a specified number of Dawn, you may rest this character if your leader is Zoro. Look at the top 5 cards, reveal 1 of the slash attribute or green events added to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. So we're getting double searchers in this. We're getting Perona and Hiyori, and they're both going to be alt arts because Bandai loves women, and I know you love women because you're lonely. That's a different conversation. You need to go to therapy. I really like this. Having double searchers, you're basically going to be a Bonnie, an aggressive Bonnie that can also control the board at the same time. I'm really liking what they're doing with Slash and the green events here specifically. I like this a lot. Ooh, a Karasu. If you have a Revolutionary Army type leader, this character is plus 3 cost, so it makes it also an 8 cost. That's really interesting. If you have a Revolutionary Army type leader and your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, your opponent must discard 1 card from their hand. I love what they do with Karasu, and this is one of those we're going to stop and talk about the artworks, because damn, dude, this dude has become one of my favorite characters in the anime, and it's just because of how cool he looks. Like, he just looks stylish. I'm vibing with him. Like, the whole crow thing, I love his bald head. He could definitely murder me, but he's got a bald head, so like, how worried am I? You know what I mean? I definitely like it though. I definitely like his style. I definitely think this is really good, actually. Just having hand control in this card game is really important, and it does a lot in black, and I like that it also gets the plus 3 cost to just be anti-black in its own way, or maybe hit some kind of effect for a certain leader that we may not know yet, unless, I was thinking if it was right there, that would have been really cool. This technique out every sound you make. It's a Heart Pirates purple event. It's Rosinante. Choose up to 1 of your Trafalgar Law and give it plus 2000 for this turn. When that character attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate blocker. Trigger, draw 1 card. I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, I get it. It makes it unblockable, which can really help you in a losing position, which with this deck, you are probably going to always be in a losing position. Sorry, I had my face on the wrong side. You're probably going to be in a losing position, so I understand it. I get why we have this, because it's the only way you can win in certain positions, but for me, we're going to give it a creepy Sanji out of 10 because that is not good. I'm not even ranking these things, man. I'm just talking about them. So I don't like this. I don't think it's good. Not really going to do anything. No, this may do something. I have not seen this card. It is a Supernova type, and it's Dressrosa, and it's Heart Pirates. Let's see what it does on play. If the number of Dawn cards you have in play is equal to or less than your opponent's Dawn cards, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. Then your Don Quixote, Rosinante, and your Heart Pirates type characters all gain plus 1,000 until the end of your opponent's turn. It's some cool artwork too. I actually vibe with the artwork, especially being a Law fan. It's cool, it's nice, but I don't think it's that good. I don't like cards that add a lot of power to characters on the board. I find them to be a little gimmicky, and they just kind of don't work because we also already have our 7 Dawn spot kind of taken up with the other 7 costs I've been talking about all day for this leader. So for me, I'm just not really vibing with it. I don't think it's going to be that good. It hurts to say, but it's just not going to work. He is flipping off the camera, which if you've seen that, it looks like it, but obviously he's got his 2 fingers. But I did see the emojis down here drop down for the flip off emoji, so I can see why. It definitely looks like he's flipping off the camera from this angle. Monet, it's a 5/6 2K counter, Don Quixote Pirates, and Punk Hazard. Not much going on there, but it's another 2K counter that Sugar can use. We like that. Any Sugar support, we're vibing with it. Virgo, same thing. Not really vibing with this one though. Doesn't really do anything for the deck. Oh, whoa! There's a black-yellow leader named Koala that's Dressrosa and Rebel Army type, meaning Dressrosa type characters gain pseudo rush, being able to sprint and attack into rested characters on the turn they play if you're playing Quarter Coliseum in a black-yellow deck, similar to Kyros, but on a stronger level, possibly. This is all I'm saying. Flick my hair a little bit. That's feeling good. When this leader attacks your opponent's leader, whoa, wait, what? When this leader attacks your opponent's leader, if you have 2 or more cost 8 or greater characters, 8 or greater, that's interesting, in play, draw 1 card. So it has built-in draw effects that almost feels like blue. That's a little weird, but it deals with cost, so I can understand it. I'm vibing with it. You have to just have 2 characters stick on board, basically, because that Morley already is an 8 cost. We saw Karasu is an 8 cost. It's going to be really damn hard to remove my characters on the board. Because also I'm going to get a Boss Monster Ivankov, and I'm excited to see what they do. Because if they don't give you a yellow Ivankov that heals you up, or just KOs your opponent's whole board, bro, they are not printing this right. I'm just saying. And we could get some Dragon in there. Actually, they're probably going to put a Dragon Boss Monster on a real note of something I actually care about. I think they'll make a cool Dragon card that definitely helps in this deck, or a Sabo. Obviously, you already have the 5-cost Sabo in this deck, and there's a lot of people breaking down this leader, saying this is going to be the best leader in the format, or one of the meta, of this specific, the 6 leaders we've seen, this is probably going to be the best one, and I can see where they're coming from, especially when we get into this secondary effect that I haven't even mentioned yet. Once per turn, when your opponent plays a character with a cost of 8 or greater, or when your opponent plays a character through a character's effect, you may activate this ability. Your opponent adds the top card of their life to their hand. So if your opponent plays Luffy Taro, and that cheats out Sangoro, you take a life. If you play 10-drop Shanks, you take a life. You play 8-drop Rayleigh, you take a life. You play 8-drop Captain Kidd, you take a life. You play 8-drop Don Quixote Rosinante, you take a life. You play Jinbei, you're getting in trouble because that card's banned. But you get the point here. Anything that plays out anything else is gonna force your opponent to take a life. I really like that because it really slows down the game. And I think you can also run 10-drop Kuzan in this deck, because if it does slow down the game properly, that's if, again, we're on that standard of if this leader does that and gets the correct support, and you slow down the game enough, I think 10-drop Kuzan could do amazing things in this deck, especially if this deck does have some kind of strong removal, similar to a Brook or something like that. I would just love to see it. So I'm excited to see what support they print for this leader, and I'm kind of jumping on the hype train right now after really deep diving into every card they've already printed yet. I'm thinking this is going to be something good, so we'll give that a heart. We'll just be nice and give it a heart this time. And it's Koala. She's Revo Army. It's cool. You know I love Revo Army. The OG Bello Betty fans, you know that we used to do so many Bello Betty videos when I had like 13 subs. I was doing Bello Betties. That was like my OG, like OP06 kind of meta prediction where I was like, this lady's a banger, run it up. And everybody was like, your content sucks. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And yeah, anyways, we're all caught up. That was my little late night ADHD spam wanting to talk to you guys about the new set. So I was just hyped up. It's 10 o'clock where I'm at on April the 23rd, 22nd. I can't read. That was One Piece. That's the new set. All the spoilers so far that I've seen, and there's probably more that I haven't seen. So if you see any more, leave them in the Discord down below, which you can join in below. And make sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the new support and what you think is going to be your favorite leader to play. I'm kind of excited for Koala and probably Sanji. Sanji's pretty cool, but he's a little pervy, but we like that. I really want to see a Brook leader soon, honestly. I want to know what leader you want to see next, because there's so many we're still missing in the card game. We finally got the Jinbei one, and it was mid. So I'm hoping we can get something cool finally for, one of the characters I like. Brook would be cool. I would love to see a good Trafalgar loss, since red-green is just so outdated at this point. And I'm done rambling. Okay, see you guys in the next one. This was a fun video. Peace.